Have you ever gotten into an argument with someone because you believe something and somehow it offends someone else because it's so different? Despite the fact that, yes, maybe some lines between a certain person that I may know could sound over the top, but hey, we all do that sometimes. I mean, we're all guilty of it. But let's focus on something today that I've never really kind of directly addressed forward into. Maybe in the topics of religion, maybe the topics on politics to some degree. But this right here, I gotta point out. I'm sorry. I just never thought I'd be dealing with conservative Christians. Never thought I did, because I never really wanted to drag myself that deep into something, because I know with conservative Christians these days they're just so idiotic to understand, and it's pointless to reason with them. But of course, that's not just the only case. Just today, I received a message from my good friend IAmMrColdProductions, who informed me of a message, or actually between a thread page, from a certain individual who I'm not going to name, because this person decides to force his beliefs to some point on the Mr. Cold Productions, because he believes something differently. And this topic is over the topic of abortion. Now, this certain individual just so happened to say all these ridiculous kinds of things. Now, I just want to be completely clear about something here, that if you believe something and you hold it personally to you, that's fine. If you believe a woman should have to give birth to a baby, fine. That is your belief. Keep it to yourself. Just like us, we like to keep our beliefs to ourselves. I myself, and like IAmMrCold Productions, pro-choice. Okay? A woman's body is her own choice. It's not my decision. It's not politics decisions, Republicans' decisions as well, especially those fucktards. But no one else's decisions but them. It is their body, it is their right, it is their life, not ours. We do not dictate or control what they do. But apparently some pro-life people are so offended and think they've got us by the balls because they think that they're right and that, it's wrong. I mean, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to at least admit it is disturbing and it's sad to watch a baby or a life form die, but it's none of my business. It's no one else's business. If that lady decides to get an abortion, that is her life. That is her decision. Let's also think about it this way. If a lady gets raped by a man, should she have to bear that pain and give birth to that child that that rapist gave to her? No. She doesn't deserve to have to go through all that pain over again. But apparently some butthurt asshole decided, okay, you know what, as long as the baby's adopted or something like that, then yeah, then afterwards on the argument she can take the afternoon pill and all that shit. Yeah. But apparently this person, I got into a conversation with this person trying to find out what was escalating between them, and he told me that IAmMrCold Productions had this argument that he wanted to kill, that it was his idea was to kill off 90% of the population, or 6 million people. I've asked this individual multiple times, can you please prove this? I have screenshots from what IAmMrCold Productions sent me about what you said, but I've asked you multiple times to send these photos to me, or the pictures of where he says that, or like threatening you, or anything like that, or if he may have deleted his evidence. Please show them to me, because if so, then I would have yelled at IAmMrCold Productions. I would have gotten onto his ass. But no. He tells me, why would I have to, and all that sort of shit. He tells me again. So I really have this headache right now telling him, if you're so innocent, just prove it. All you have to do is submit the photos to me of what he said. And he even said himself, I have the evidence. I have 6 million or, something on my hard drive or on my little file page. And what I kept telling him, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just submit proof. You're also telling me that he may have deleted his comments. If that's the case, why would that matter? Submit evidence. I wouldn't be arguing with you right now if you just submitted the evidence to me, and we wouldn't be having this little predicament. That's the issue here. So before I actually get back onto, I actually do want to keep going about what I'm saying, but I want to display to you first is something, the conversations between IAmMrCold Productions and also this certain individual. And I will also show you a clip of what I said to this person, and trust me, the results from this person was completely shocking to me. I have to share it with you all. So by all means, for any of you conservatives out there, pull out your Bibles. For any of us liberals out there who get scorned and fucking generalized by this conservative asshole, well, have your eyes feast upon this. So let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see right now, with this image before me is basically the topic, which the topic is not actually, surprisingly, the issue here. Basically, my friend, my very close friend, who's also like my brother and me. Sorry, grammar issues today. IAmMrCold, or Kyle Stewart, or IAmMrColdProductions, says this right here just to begin with. This is before the issue occurred. His comment states, "The unwanted children should be dumped on the White House lawn." Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I can understand. It sounds harsh, but hey, that's what he speaks. I mean, I may not be eye to eye on the exact level of what he thinks, but he's still a good friend of mine. But right here, from this certain individual, I can understand, oh, you people are disgusting, from what this person right here says. His name is crossed out because we're not going to name drop anyone. The only reason why Kyle's name is mentioned in there is because like he said, I have permission. So we continue on, where Kyle actually makes his point against this anonymous person. We are, basically with a question mark. He says right next to that, besides, wire hangers aren't that expensive, which, a little odd to me, but okay. This person says, give kids a chance to live. Now, okay, I don't really have a problem with that sentence here, but you got to understand the political issues with what that statement is saying. Let's just point it out here. Even if abortions were illegal and they had to give birth to the child, you know, the mother, like I said before, and you know, just a couple minutes ago, that the mother can still actually die from childbirth, whether it was consensual or whether it was rape. It's just something to think about. And then my friend Kyle says to him, they can live in the church's porch. Well, I mean, you could say that by being dropped off in a basket, in a neighbor's house. I can understand that, but on the porch of a White House and of Republicans. This right here it's basically the point of how Republicans actually treat, you know, women like slaves, thinking that they have no right to do whatever they want with their own body. This is where stuff begins to heat up. And he says, Kyle continues his points. If they want them to live, they can take care of them. Basically stating that if a woman wants to take care of that baby, if she gives birth to the baby because she wants to, and she wants to take care of it, that is her decision. It is not up to a man, it is not up to a politician, it is not up to their so-called system, it is up to them as the individual. Not because someone else does. No one wants to be a puppet to a political or to a gender that kind of demands that sort of thing happens. And not to mention, we do actually have a population crisis, and I'm not saying, and in no way am I saying that this should be, people should be killed off. I just think, just like Kyle, we should just slow down on what we're doing here. We should just take it easy. I mean, because if some people aren't careful, some people can regret it. That's basically what my friend Kyle was also trying to argue, that some people could regret what they're doing. Also, this person wants to argue with them, adoption, foster care, etc. Just give them a chance to live and have a heart. Well, think of it like this again. If it's consensual, she ends up dying from birth. Tragic on that part. But what about the rapist? What if a rapist raped her and she had to give birth to that child? That's kind of unfair, don't you think? Now, granted alone, I know we have teenagers these days that think it's cool to get pregnant and, you know, they want to be moms at a very early age. But that still doesn't count out the fact that there are people who do not want children, who did not want to receive that child, but end up getting violated and raped and then having to bear that child. So they don't want to live with that. They don't want to bear with that pain. So what do? They actually kill the baby inside, regardless whether if it was that much, or even that much. Let's just be real, people. Okay. And so, he says to him, my friend Kyle says to him, yes, because there aren't entirely too many children in adoption foster care system that need families that they already live already. Well, that was God's plan then, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, religion can be very, very, very subjective to that point. But let's take a look more at this for a minute. He also states to him as well, yes, because there aren't entirely too many children in the adoption foster care system. Yeah, that was the same comment from the last one, so we're basically kind of continuing off. So this person decides to say, stop making it about religion. There being a lot of children already is no valid argument for abortion. In the name of Nostalgia Critic, who's, I'm going to quote, did you drink as a fetus? Did you drink as a fetus? Seriously. That is not an argument. That's just, oh God, this gives me a headache. Let me just ask one more time. Did you drink as a fetus? I know I didn't. I know I too can get drunk at sometimes, but holy shit. Let's just move on. So he decides to refute this person's comment. Do you know what a valid reason for abortion is? The planet is overpopulated by humans, not enough resources to go around. Resources, I'm sorry. He says to him, overpopulation has been disproven by science. What? Oh, okay, so, yeah, so science can't prove that, but yet you can still prove, as yourself as a conservative Christian, that God exists. Holy crap. I just see so many things wrong with that point. So science can't prove this, but yet religion itself can prove, or from a conservative's point of view, that God exists. I mean, I'm a Christian myself, but I don't force my beliefs. I don't tell people that they're wrong or stupid for believing in something. It just really depends on how they push that belief. That's the only issue I really have. But look at this shit. It gets even better. So, Mr. Cold decides to respond. What science are you talking about? Physically, we can fit a few billion I am so sorry. Let me try that again. We can fit a few billion more people, yes, with resources / means of having healthy people to today's standards, all along with economic standings, which completely cripple your thought process. That's logical right there. That's a good reason. Let's continue. And so we're here to this certain person's argument. Again, let me just move this over. Emotional arguments have no bearing against logic. Murder is murder. This is what he's saying to another person. There is one thing I did see. Oh, I'm sorry. A few billion people. Kyle, Alec, Cold. Try again. That's why no one takes liberals seriously. They make up their own imaginary arguments. Who in the fuck came up? How are you the lucky seed here? How are you the lucky sperm that came out? Tell me, after reading a stupid comment like that, after reading such stupid predicament arguments, how in the fuck does that make you look any better yourself as a conservative? Are you basically marginalizing liberals that they have this imaginary thought process? Holy shit, dude. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning. We're only on the 4th page out of 20 some odd pages. And so now we're continuing on in this, oh my gosh, sometimes I feel like I don't have any hope for the human race. But let's look at this now. Mr. Kyle decides to say this. Then murder is required. I mean, because technically abortion is kind of technically the biological termination of a living, or even if it's non-living as well, if it's like before a zygote, we could say that. It's still a biological termination. We first need to kill off the unwanted parasites that you argue as children. Then the people who protest the rights of people to take care of their bodies a different way they do. Now, this is probably one of the things that you were talking about when you were arguing to me about this, but that's basically what he thinks. We all have feelings on something about killing, but we never act upon them. This right here, when he says, then the people who protest the rights of people to take care of their bodies, that is just a feeling. Does not mean he wants to actually do it. How do I know this? Because I personally know the dude. I've talked to him so many times. I went to high school with this dude. Just like I said, if I wanted to, like I felt like killing that guy because of what he did to that person. Yeah, we have feelings on these things, but we never act upon them. We have the tendency to do it, but we never act upon it. So, just to make this sort of claim to kill off 90% of that population, and that right there, I mean, because based upon a feeling, because you decided to comment to him first, let's get that straight. You made that point to him, and now he's giving his points to you, to that certain person looking. So, let's just read on from here. So, Mr. Kyle decides to point out, it's illegal where they're at for the ER to do so, and the Planned Parenthoods were closed down. So that's basically the point he was also making to him. This same person, decides to say this. Come try me, IAmMrCold. If you need to murder me, then I need to murder you to protect innocent life. My conscience would be clear. So, hold on a second. Basically, he's just saying what he feels about something, because he's angry that people try to control people upon not trying to get an abortion. But saying, oh yeah, we also need to kill the protesters. Do you know the difference between, intentional and non-intentional? Please tell me. If you know the difference between non-intentional and intentional, then you really need some help there, if you don't know the difference. Because what I'm looking at here is actually not intentional. To saying that to murder people with that sort of thing. That is the sort of feeling that we get, that if there's no hope for the human race, you just feel like killing people. But it's not intentional, because I don't condone that, and I don't even think he even condones killing people. That's just the thought process and the feelings that he has. He's even told me this shit too before, and I can vouch for that shit. Even he himself can even tell you that. Let me continue on. And so, in defense, Kyle says, come on, I live in so-and-so in this state. I'm going to actually blur that one out as well, which I already did. And he says, coming at me, bro. So I don't want to, give out that personal information. That's not going to endanger anyone. And this person, again, you're the one saying you need to kill off abortion protesters. I'm an abortion protester. I'm waiting. Mr. Cold refutes a point. What science disproved overpopulation? Come on, tell me. And a lot of people, they're saying I'm pro-abortion, that's their belief. Okay, so Kyle says, you said you want to murder me for what I believe. That's the thing, believe. That's his own belief. He believes in something. Doesn't mean for a fact that it's going to work for everyone else. Just like what you believe is not a fact, what you think is actually going to be right for everyone else as well. That's basically how politics is. One disagrees with some person, someone's going to get into an argument. There's basically no form of solution. It's just going to keep going on and on and on and on and on until someone has to prove right otherwise. That's basically how politics works. Let's not stop there, though. That's what you said, not me, Kyle IAmMrCold, yada yada yada. And he says also, no one would care about a pathetic discussing abortion supporter. Yeah, and this person likes to generalize liberals. So, way to go, you make a good conservative Christian. Oh, yeah, we got some new stuff and some more stuff about we got to show. We are just dying to just show here. Okay. Okay, and then Kyle actually refutes his points. He has the picture of what he said on there, because he was just stating what he believes. Doesn't mean intentionally, though, that he wants to kill the abortion supporters. That's just the feelings that he just has. Sometimes you just want to kill them. Just like saying if my dad wanted to kill me because I was being too much of a calamity, I broke something, it's like, oh, I just want to kill you right now. That's basically kind of what he's saying. Alright. So Kyle says, well, if abortion isn't allowed then I guess it's time to start castrating abortion protesters. Stop them from breeding so they can adopt from their foster care system. Just want to tell you, dude, you drove him to say that, not anyone else. So, and then he says to Kyle, if you need to murder me, then I need to murder you. You said you wanted to kill me off, fucking dumbass. Well, sorry, but you kind of pissed him off, and you kind of made him say something that he wasn't intentionally trying to say. When you force your beliefs upon someone, people say things that they don't really exactly want to say. That's the problem. Let's see, and yeah, we can just move on to the next page. Page 8. Kyle says to him, I said no such thing. I said murder is required to avoid overpopulation, and if abortion is illegal, then something has got to give. Such as we kill off an elderly, and those who would oppose it. Yeah, that's actually supposed to be an O rather than an A, but oh well, not being a grammar Nazi here, I'm just saying. Funny thinking how Republicans love to kill grown-off folk, but can't fathom killing off a parasite. Trust me, politics is full of corruption, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. Especially at the days with Republicans and conservatives, that shit speaks for itself right there. You can make a whole lot of assumptions on that point. And now, this person likes to be a smartass and says this. How about killing off all the stupid sluts who want to have sex and resort to killing instead of taking responsibility for their actions? A lot of problems what I see with this one right here. Way to make yourself a good conservative Christian by saying this to a lot of people, calling them sluts, when statistically between teenagers who probably think it's cool to actually have sex and be pregnant, but then you leave out the parts of women who are raped and have to bear the child. You forgot to mention that part, you self-righteous piece of shit. You need to look at this from another angle. You need to examine. There's other points to it. By saying off all stupid sluts. I'm sorry. Can we have statistics that all the sluts actually having abortions were raped as well? Because that kind of thing, that's just telling me that if like a woman was raped, that's basically mocking her. That's making her feel like a slut. And I'm not trying to take it out of context or anything, but let me read it again. How about killing off all the stupid sluts who want to have sex and resort to killing instead of taking responsibility for their actions? All. You said all. Let's look at this one now. He says to him, so that would include your mother. Yeah, okay, yeah, that was a little over the top, but oh well. I don't really support what he said right there, but hey, you know, when you say something to someone and force your beliefs, that's your problem, not mine. Okay. He says to him, unfunny and uninteresting sense of humor these abortion fags have. So you like to label abortionists and liberals. Good on you, pal. Good to show how much of a good conservative Christian you are. You show a positive example. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Yes, they have working computers, so they have no excuse. Where the fuck? Abortion idiots can't math. Christopher Lehman, what the fuck did you come out as? Alright, so, a funny meme picture that he posted. Funny how butt you are, yet you can't seem to battle anyone's points without getting really emotional. Of course, right here, I would like to see these pussies try to kill someone who can defend themselves instead of preying on babies. Oh my god. I have no faith in this race anymore. Being that this is just Ladies and gentlemen, can you just do me a favor? If you ever see me, can you just bash my head into the fucking table? Save me the urge of having to deal with this shit. Just give me some blood force trauma, or just give me some sort of amnesia. I just can't. I can't deal with this. Let's just keep reading. Kyle actually refutes to him. It's what he thinks. Babies have been born. Before that, they are parasites. I mean, basically anything before maybe a zygote, I could be wrong, is not really considered a living specimen, so scientifically that could be accurate. if they aren't parasites, they don't need to be, within their mother to live. That's what he's basically saying to them. A human parasite is still a human, you fucking idiot. If they're not a zygote, they're not considered living. So, and of course he wants to spout this one. Science says it's human equals it's human. Human is okay, but I'm standing here, I'm human, right? I mean, a zygote can still be considered human. I mean, because that's basically what's considered. If it's actually within that part or beyond, then it's considered human. But that still does not take away the political decisions between if a woman wants to abort it or not. It's her damn choice. Jeez. Okay. I don't want to say this part because I know a lot of people might just, they consider them inhuman, but rapists are human too. I know, just controversially enough, but oh well. And Republicans are rapists due to the fact they violate women, mainly their reproductive organs. Well, yeah, politically, yes, because politically they are technically raping the individual of their own rights and of their own freedom to get that abortion, in that political standpoint. And oh gosh, women can stand up for themselves. They don't need white knights like you crying for them. Remember what I said about rapists and the woman who has to who if she bears the child of the rapist? What if she needs help? Fucking idiot. And this is what he says to him as well. There are female pro-lifers. And right after the point where Kyle makes this remark, this is what he says, and this is what I found this the holy grail of his belief. Yes, they are bloodthirsty sluts. I know this. Conservative Christian, ladies and gentlemen. Conservative Christian. Praying to God that salvation comes to people. Oh my gosh, stone him to death for believing what he believes. Oh my gosh, kill the lady for having an abortion because she believes what she wants to believe. Kill them all in the name of God. Jesus Christ. Let's just move on. Since I've actually shown you those, the conversations between one Kyle Stewart and this anonymous person, I want to point out to you, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, I think it's a shame that children being killed. It's a bad shame. But in the political standards, I don't really believe that anyone has any right to tell a woman what to do with her body. You got to still consider the possibilities that even if the woman actually had no choice but to give birth to that child, she would still actually suffer the possibility of dying from childbirth. But I just want to read you this right here because there's really not much, but it was all I needed just to put my face over my, just in my hand. Yeah, I can make a meme for it myself, but there's already one. But let me just start off by what this says. So I say to him, did you and my friend Kyle get into a conversation about abortion? At first, I thought he was playing the ignorant card when he says this. Who's Kyle and who are you? Well, I understand he doesn't know who I am. I'm the friend of the guy. I know it said if, damn autocorrector, it's supposed to be of, but I'm the friend of the guy you told to kill himself. Don't okay the ignorant card with me. I have the screenshots. I want to know what escalated between you and Kyle Stewart. Or Kyle Cold, if that rings a bell. Oh, that conversation. Kyle said he wanted to kill all abortionist protesters, including me. I have the screenshots as well. He said that 90% of the population needs to be killed off. This is the problem right here. I didn't see that anywhere in the conversation. Yes, I saw the part about kill all abortion protesters, but I can tell for a fact that was not intentional. But you said that he had 90% of the population needed to be killed off. No such sentence. What I read through, and I've even read through this myself, because it was all supposed to be in the very beginning. There was no sentence that said that. No precise. So I said if he thinks the world is overpopulated, than to kill himself. Well, at least he admitted it. So let's move on. Can I see the post then? And he says, I also have the screenshots. Stop crying about it and bugging me about it. I'm sorry, but if I see something wrong, with the issue. And he's puzzled for a minute. I saw the shots and I didn't see anything he said about killing the percentage of people. If you have the shots where he said that, by all means send it, so that way that claim that Kyle made could be invalid. And I corrected on percentage because I know there was something wrong in that sentence. But I want to be completely clear about something real quick before we go into the next page. Just in case if he decides to argue that, oh, I had the freaking screenshot where he says he wanted to kill all protesters. But I've already said this before, that I know it's not intentional of what he said, but what I was arguing was about the percentage of people, the percentage of the actual population, not the abortion protesters. And he says it to me, I have a whole folder of all the ridiculous claims he made on my desktop. He said 6 billion of the people needed to be wiped out. That's a little bit over 90%. He didn't say that people should have been wiped out. Basically, it was the same argument as abortion. Abortion in political standards, some people may need it. Some people want it. But he didn't say anything about it like we need to kill off people. But like I said, resources actually come to that avail. And he says, it was a stupid internet argument. I think it would be in your best interest to stop worrying about it. But if you do want to escalate the situation further, I have the folder with the key points of the conversation saved. JPEG format that I will use for future reference if need be. Well, okay. Well, I'm asking for proof that he said it. And so far it's not getting anywhere. I saw what he sent. So if you claim to be innocent, then you would show the pic of the exact point in place he would made on that statement. And that statement saying that where the entire population, or 90%, needed to be killed off. Otherwise, the kill yourself message to him is something entirely different. Also, I saw what was about, I'm sorry, let me just say this again. Also, what I saw was about slowing down procreation. That's supposed to be slowing, not wiping a percentage out. Basically, taking it easy on sex. You know, having limits. Okay? Jeez. He says to me, I have proof of what he said. I don't understand why you're crying. I have no reason to show you it, nor do I feel like it. Did your friend actually kill himself or something? And I would have actually been angry at this part, but all he had to do was just show me where he said that the entire population needed to be killed off. That was it. That was the only thing that I asked. Not for satisfaction, not for anything else, not to put myself in some higher position than him, thinking I'm better than him in any way. All I asked was at least one, if maybe I wasn't being specific, but at least one to a couple of photos or pictures where he says that. And he says, why would I show you? How would that benefit me? How would it benefit you? It proves you're innocent, you moron. It would be better for me to hold them back and wait patiently. Well, wouldn't it do you good to prove yourself innocent now so that way people don't scorn you? Not that that matters anymore. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. What I tell him. When you tell a friend of mine to kill himself but say that he said something that caused it without proof, because it becomes a problem to me. Especially between political differences you have to him. So he's pro-choice and you're pro-life. I myself am pro-choice, but I still respect the view of something different from mine. But it doesn't mean you have to have a hostile argument. So he says to me, he says, dude, he was an asshole. I know my friend Kyle Stewart can be an asshole, but I love him for that shit. I fucking love Kyle Stewart for being an asshole. Not to mention the fact there was also that one time at the outlet mall where he would embarrass the hell out of me in front of all these groups of people. He would dance in front of me and do all these crazy things. That's what I liked about him. And so what if he was an asshole? I wouldn't care. This doesn't make this person any different. But like I said, maybe but that's just the way this group goes, dude. Join the group yourself and you will see. And which I had to wait for a minister's approval, but that doesn't matter because I actually got the ad, not the ad, but the entire thread page. He sends me the link. I'm having trouble with it. There's really no point of just talking about this crap. Because I'm waiting for admin's approval so I can just go on. Yeah, you gotta wait. Yeah, I don't care. Here's what I'm saying right here. I tell him, actually, that's okay. I received the entire thread, so no need, and I have been reading through it, and I do not say where he intentionally says about wiping out 90%, but I do see where you said about bloodthirsty sluts, so yeah, way to be a conservative Christian. Wow. Those were my exact words. Basically, what I saw was the same argument of abortion, no different for what he believes offends you. So whatever he believes, it offends you. And he tells me, you obviously hate Christians, as do all liberals. That's the part where he marginalizes all liberals and people like me who are Christian haters when I'm in fact a Christian. And I tell him that. What? Then why are you friends with Kyle? He obviously hates Christians, as you can see in the thread. Did you ever stop to wonder why? Because the shit you say is the prime example. Holy shit. Take it from him. It's shit like what you're saying is what makes him hate you so much. As do all conservative Christians or any type of other Christians who believe this fucking nonsense. Not the political view, because what you believe is what you believe. That's fine. Just don't force it on me, him, or anyone else. That's the issue. And I tell him, yeah, but here's the shock. He's my brother. You marginalize liberals, you contradict your beliefs, and act hostile to what another believes. I thought Christians were supposed to be accepting to someone and not base their judgments off of a book. Just because a book says something doesn't mean it makes it true. Because someone writes it down, and it's been so interpreted many times and times over again. Does that make it true? No. I'm not going to base my choices, my actions, off of a book, or because someone else says so. I do this because my own moralities, my own choices, my own beliefs are my own. Whatever I base it around is my personal belief, and I don't force it upon anyone else. That is your problem. That is the issue here. And like I said to him, he labeled me as a Christian hater, and he thinks, well, he thought I was a liberal. Then how are you Christian? First of all, politics and religion don't have to mash itself together all the fucking time. Just because I'm a Christian does not mean I'm going to judge someone because whatever the book says. Because I accept people who may be homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, any type of way. I don't have a problem with abortions that much, to be honest. I don't have anything against, having guns. Shocker, huh? So, I just don't see why this whole political fiasco has to keep going on. If you were a Christian, you realize the baby is a human body. And yeah, you realize if you're also a Christian that if a rapist actually rapes his victim, he has to marry her, right? Bullshit! So I say to him, okay, what if the woman has to give birth to the rapist baby? What then? Plus the woman dies from giving birth to the rapist baby. What would you say? And I know there's a little bit more pointers after this, but he says the baby would go to adoption unless she wanted to take care of it. The doctor usually knows if there will be a risk of death due to birth. That may be true in some instances, but sometimes there have been cases where that actually hasn't happened, and the lady actually dies. Because hospitals can sometimes be negligent, some of them. And then she can make her own choice at that point, a real choice. What's that choice? Having to accept the pain for something she didn't want? Well, and the choice is to bear that pain she didn't want? And he says yes, to make sure the child lives. I'm not sure if that was answering that part I said, but right here, I say, and this is all I needed right here when I asked, so if she's raped, she would have to give birth. Is that also what you're saying, to be clear? The baby didn't commit rape, according to what he said. So yes! If she wants to use the morning pill after, so be it. And that was all I needed. And the one thing I just needed to say to this was thank you. All I needed. Have a nice day. Sleep well. That's all the time I have here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good fucking day.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Cold here. I uh, I gave Thrash Metal Guru, Metallica Guru, whatever channel that this video is uploaded on, full permission to use everything I gave him in here, including my name. Yeah, dope, huh? Thank you for watching, by the way. Please leave your thoughts, comments, concerns in the comment section, please. I'd like to read them. I'd like to discuss things with you. What are your views and points on this? And if you need to, and if you'd like to review all these pictures pictures of the conversation that we're reading, because I didn't delete any of my comments and fun shit like that, I will post a link to a blog post I make about it.